We're live.
Now we're live.
Live to tape.
Live on the internet.
There's no actual tape involved.
That's better than live everywhere else.
Yeah.
Is it?
Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Should we just go? Should we just do it?
We're waiting for you, man.
Yeah.
You start the
Okay.
show.
You're the host.
Hello
the
and
most
welcome to
close.
episode.
Phil, haven't you cost us enough time already? Can we?
CJ was the one wasting time. He was the one not starting.
Hello and welcome
Him
to
and his
episode.
bloast.
Hello and welcome to episode 800.
I didn't even do anything that time.
You laughed.
CJ's in his own
Laughed.
head.
You said all with your eyes.
You said it all. Hello and welcome to episode 829 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Yellow.
How's it going there, sir?
I like the beanie.
This
Oh,
is close,
it's getting cool here in Washington.
this
So
is close as I had to yellow.
Yellow. Yeah, that's good.
Possible.
It's well. I mean, you may have seen us on the national and international news for the damage that Fiona did when it came through here a couple days ago.
Yes.
can you feel the storm? It's coming.
But yeah, it was it all we had personally was a few down trees and we're out of power for a couple of days, or well, for us it was a day, although I have neighbors that live fairly close by that still don't have power and probably won't for a couple more days.
Oh dear.
The thing that was a little bit more disconcerting where we were was that both landlines and cell phone service went down.
Oh,
So had we been hit really hard, I shudder to think how bad that would have been for anyone who needed emergency help, because
Right.
everyone I know
Yeah.
lost cell service.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was really
and if
unexpected.
anyone had
That's not happened
landlines, that would have been a real problem.
before. Well, and we do have a landline in this house, and it was not working.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a little bit
Now
disconcerting.
let me ask you: do you have a landline through like a cable company? Because a lot of
Yes.
people that's voice over IP.
Yeah, it is,
then, that would
yeah,
be
you're
using the
right. A
internet.
lot of that is voice over IP, although the connection is still a landline. Yeah, it's
I
an
don't
old
think so.
landline connection,
Is
but
it?
I don't know. We'll see. a
CJ
good
knows
point,
your
though.
phones better than you do, Greg.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, because up until we renovated, obviously we were still using, telephone landlines. But yeah, once we rewired the house. But anyway, Halifax was not hit super hard. Unfortunately, northern Nova Scotia and PEI and Newfoundland in particular, it seems, and PEI as well, got hit really hard. There were scenes of houses floating off into the ocean up in Newfoundland. So,
seriously?
oh yeah, it's bad.
Oh,
I mean, it's really
dear.
bad.
That's awful.
And I think northern Nova Scotia didn't fare a whole lot better. I
Oh.
don't know. Yeah. And like I say, Prince Edward Island as well.
Oh,
So it
dear.
kind of cut a swath through Atlantic Canada. We were very lucky here. Like I said, we had some downed trees and power outages, but for the most part, we're good. But we were sort of right on the edge of it. So, 2 hours north of us is where sort of the destruction has really started. So, yeah,
Yikes! Oh,
it's not
okay.
normal for this part of the world. So,
Huh.
I'm hoping that everyone's okay. I know they reported one death so far
Oh dear.
up
Huh.
in Newfoundland, but yeah. So hey, if you'd like to help somehow, I don't really know of what charity, but I mean, go look up charities for. I haven't looked one up, is what I'm saying, but maybe I should, and we can put them in the show notes.
We can link
If you'd
it in
like
the
to
show
help,
notes.
Probably.
worth helping
Just
out.
throw
with
your
the
money northward.
rebuilding.
Just
Yeah.
throw some dollar bills north.
Yeah, especially American dollar bills. They're worth a lot
Yeah.
more. So, but no, in all seriousness,
Toss a bottle into the
this part of
Atlantic.
the world's gonna need help. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, we'll link to something if you give me a
Yeah.
link.
yeah,
I'll put it in the
we'll
show
do.
notes. All right. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
That's me.
Yes. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You sound disappointed.
Well, I'm anticipating a live taste test.
Oh, right.
Now,
God.
because of something you said on Twitter, you
Speaking of natural disasters,
revealed
I did.
chip
look at the
challenge.
size of that box.
Huh?
Look at the size of that box.
I
mean,
did
you've got
buy-
small hands, I know, but
The Paki One Chip Challenge 2002.
2002.
2002. What?
That's an
Or
old chip.
2022,
It's gonna be a
I'm sorry.
That can be a very stale tortilla chip.
Well, hopefully the spiciness has degraded over time. That's my hope.
Well, yeah.
I did buy one of these.
So, are you doing this?
I don't know if I want to do it at the top of the show, though. It sounds like that's actually pretty bad.
We might have to do it during the after show or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
This was $10 damn for a
Okay.
single spicy chip.
Uh-huh.
It's Reaper pepper and Scorpion pepper.
Jesus.
And it
Now
will
let me ask you
apparently-
something.
Yes.
Are you a fan of just spice, hot things in general? Hot food?
Well, I like the Spice Girls, and they're certainly pretty hot.
like the movie Hot Fuzz? That's pretty hot.
I enjoy Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
I hate everything about this.
I do. I like spicy food.
Okay.
I
You like
actually do.
spicy food.
I do like spicy food. I do like hot food. I will put,
Hmm.
like, if I'm having a taco, I'll put some hot sauce on it.
Do you do the Tabasco? Do you do that?
Amateur.
Tabasco?
I'm asking.
No,
I'm asking.
no, like hot sauce, like
Like real stuff.
yes,
Okay. Like Billy Mitchell.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I only go for the
Oh.
hottest Billy Mitchell flavor.
Tastes of
Yeah.
Billy Mitchell.
Tastes like Pac-Man supremacy.
Tastes like salt and delusion.
What kind of salt? I'm
American
guessing.
salt.
Yeah,
You seen those ties?
true.
Star Spangled Salt, my friend.
Yeah, so I did pick this up, and a lot of people were like, on the Twitter, I asked if people wanted me to do this on the show, and a lot of people were like,
Yes.
This is a terrible idea.
it's a terrible idea, but yes, you should absolutely do it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I got nervous because I was just going to pop the thing in. I was just going to pop the whole thing in.
Well, that's how you have to do it.
But then, well, that's only if you accept the full challenge. And I'm not afraid to admit I'm a coward.
Is that why the package is so big? They have to tell you the rules.
We're not afraid to admit you're a coward either.
Well, I mean, look at the back. The half of the back is a big warning.
I love this.
But yeah, enough people were like, no, this is seriously kind of a bad idea. You might not want to do this, to make me sort of second guess the whole shoving the whole thing in my mouth.
I mean, you did taste that switch cart. on the
Phil,
show.
until your gag reflex is really worked in, you want to work up to it. You don't just want to shove the whole thing in your mouth.
You don't got to worry about my gag reflex, buddy. Okay. I've
I
been
don't.
places. I've seen things. Do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy foods, allergic to peppers, nightshades, or
Nightshades?
Nightshades.
What is
Nice.
that? What is a nightshade?
That's like if you're a witch
Yeah.
and you're putting a hex on someone,
Okay.
you get out some
What
deadly
about
nightshades,
St. John's wort? Does it have that in there?
or are pregnant or have any medical conditions.
Do you have any medical conditions?
Does mental count?
No.
Then we should be okay. Keep out of the reach of children.
Oh,
Again,
that's
I
a
got
good
one.
idea. Yeah.
After touching the chip, wash your hands with soap and do not touch your eyes or other sensitive areas. They mean your wiener. Seek medical
There are
assistance.
more sensitive
should
areas
you
on your body.
experience difficulty breathing, fainting, or extended nausea.
Like,
So,
don't rub
can
your
you-
eyes.
So real talk. Does your wife know you're going to do this?
Well, I mean, she
Mm,
has
Is she
Twitter.
on standby?
She's not here right now.
Oh,
This is a
well,
bad
then it might be
idea,
a bad
Phil.
idea.
She's in Sweden at the moment.
Okay.
So who's going
Might
to take
be
you
a
to the
bad
hospital? Your kid?
Well, I'm
How good is
hopefully-
Finn at driving games?
I mean, I've seen him play some Roblox stuff.
Okay.
He's okay.
Oh, he's ready then.
That's enough.
He's okay.
Yeah. Cars these days is basically just like
They basically drive
That's just
themselves.
it, right? It's all
like
push
it.
buttons.
yeah.
So this chip
point in
will
this
shock
direction.
you. A weird sort of electric theme to it. That's makes
yeah.
no sense. So I don't know. I might try this later. I'll tell you what, though. That whole thing about not touching your ding-a-ling. Once you handle this,
Or your eyes.
I mean,
that
we all
too.
know Phil can barely keep his hands off himself.
look, I'll tell you. I only.
So
I got,
he'll be in the
especially
hospital
while
for
the
another
wife's
reason.
away. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
and let's be honest. I got 2 eyes.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
if one of them gets damaged, we're okay.
Uh-huh.
God. It's so offensive.
But years ago, and I'm talking like 20 years ago, Dana was making some sort of spicy dish with habaneros.
Mhm.
And she was in the kitchen, of course, preparing this meal. I was in the living room playing a game or something.
Not doing anything.
Right.
Not
Certainly not helping.
Are you saying that a woman's place is in the kitchen, Phil?
It's not as
No,
always
I'm
the
What I'm
saying if that
hearing. That is what I'm
particular
hearing.
moment when she decided she wanted to make some sort of spicy
Okay.
dish, she was in there preparing
Okay.
a dish.
I see.
And I was not even in the same room, but
Phil
somehow
was in the
as she
living
was
room masturbating.
well, yeah. As she was chopping the habanero, somehow little
Playing DOA beach
particulates
volleyball.
floated through the air.
Uh-huh.
Because at one point I'm sitting in the living room and I rubbed my eyes. I had my eyes, a little something in my eye, and I rubbed it. And holy crap. Like I said, some particles must have floated through the air, got on my hand somehow.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It was agony.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Just-
it would be.
Just me screaming and having to make a conscious effort to not
it's just a
claw
Tuesday
my
at the
eyes out of
Theobald
my
house.
skull. Like I had to think about it. Like I was instinctively going for my eyes in any effort to stop the pain.
Ouch.
So I do have gloves. I will absolutely be wearing a glove.
Oh yeah.
2 gloves. I'm gonna wear
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear one
2.
on each hand just to be double safe.
Okay.
But yeah,
so
I
you're
might
not sure if we're going to do that later in the show or not.
I might not just shove the whole thing in my mouth. I might just take a little bite off a corner and see what
Just
happens.
the tip.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we should do a separate video.
I was going to say this is a lot of preamble for
There's
something.
a lot
you're
of
not gonna do.
preamble.
That is also true.
We have to do it at this point. So, well, how about we record it after the after show, and I'll just put it in.
Oh,
Why don't we not?
after show.
CJ, you're a terrible salesperson. Why not do it during the after show?
Okay.
Because we get more patrons.
Oh,
We already had someone in the chat say I might subscribe just because I don't want to wait a year to see
Oh,
this.
that's true. That's true.
Come on, man.
watch Phil hurt himself for money.
Yeah, I know. I would pay for it.
Sure.
I don't even like this
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
stuff.
We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll put it in the after show.
That's what this is going to be. Now this is going to be an after show bit. I also got a whole bunch of milk on standby, so
He's just gonna pour it
Just
over
gonna-
himself.
Yeah.
I filled
Douse
up
yourself
yourself
in milk.
earlier.
Okay.
There's a webcam in there.
It should be nice and stagnant by the
Oh, gross.
time we
It'll be butter by the time you get there.
some room temperature
Cottage cheese.
Mm. Anyway,
Okay. So we're putting it in the
I can't
after
believe
show
we
is what you're
spent 20
saying.
minutes talking about this.
that's our after show bit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get to video game news
See how
then.
good I am at Jeopardy questions when I'm screaming.
That'll be, yes. I like it's not Jeopardy questions. It's a review game.
oh, even better.
Okay.
Even better.
Okay.
See what you can remember when you're agonizing.
Underground League of Piano.
Oh God. Yes. All right. So
Yes.
let's do this one. EA Motive is making an Iron Man game.
Oh,
Boom. EA Motive, of course, is the studio that is doing the Dead Space remake, and before that, they did the Star Wars Squadrons.
okay.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is EA
it
doing
seems like
another Marvel game.
I was going to say, so it seems like the Marvel thing is starting to bear more fruit then, because isn't Sony doing Wolverine as well? And
Sony's doing Wolverine, and another Spider-Man game,
excited.
So
cool, good stuff.
Yes, they do not have a release date of any kind.
Whoever does,
but Dead Space comes out next January, and then this is their next project after that. So that's pretty cool. It's also, I think the executive producer is over from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
yes, I did read that, and that's awesome.
That game.
Yeah,
so that's pretty excellent.
I mean, I would have been interested in this anyway, but knowing that is, hopefully some of that magic comes over as well, and because that was a good game.
Yes, indeed. All right, so Mario movie, we're gonna get a teaser
Nintendo
next month at
Sega.
New York Comic Con.
Okay,
what's your hype level at? Come on, hit me with your hype level. Seems to be 0. All right.
Wait and see.
I'm I don't know. It's animated, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's animated.
Yes,
It's from
that's like Chris Pratt doing the voice and everything.
Illumination Studios.
I can't get down with the whole, I don't know. I don't, the casting worries me a lot.
It'll
Just
be
because
fine.
Mario
It'll be
has sounded the
fine.
same for 20 years.
It'll be very
years.
inoffensive. It'll be very inoffensive. It'll be
I'm
fine.
not worried about it being offensive. I'm worried about it just sounding like crap.
Well, there's that too.
Although, seriously, could you listen to, and don't get me wrong, Charles Martinet, he's great.
Mm-hmm.
Would you listen to an hour and 45 minutes of Charles Martinet's Mario voice?
See, here's the thing, and you've made this point before, and I think you're absolutely right in that his role as Mario has always been to sort of, exclaim single or like 3 or 4 words thrown together, and that's about it. So I do get that, right? Yeah. But I don't know. It's just been he's been Mario for so long that's what's ingrained. Yeah. So I mean, and Chris Pratt might do a great job. And I like, my kids actually fired up the Lego movie the other day, and I mean, he was great in that. I do like him as far as an actor, but it's just he's taking over a role that has a very specific sound, and it's going to be hard to. It's going to be hard to live up to it, I think. And if he gets it right, awesome. But if he doesn't, it's going to be difficult to.
I'm guessing it's not going to be him doing a.
No,
it's me.
No, he has to make it his own, and that's the thing. He's just got big shoes to fill. That's all.
Do you think he's going to have an Italian kind of affectation?
God, I have no idea.
Oh, it's just the worst Italian accent you've ever heard.
Hey, it's me, Mario.
Forget about it.
Come on, Luigi. We gotta go save the princess, huh?
Well, honestly, you just do a Lou Albano impression. I'd be fine with that, really.
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. So I don't know if you guys follow popular YouTube channels, but popular YouTuber Dunkey. If you've watched any Dunkey videos,
I have.
He's launching a game publisher. He's now launching a publishing company called Big Mode.
Good luck.
So now, instead of making fun of the trials and tribulations of video games that are released, he's going to be making video games. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
So like I do not know who this person is. I am.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
Yeah,
I'm very funny. Yeah.
And I'm out of touch, and I don't care. And this is not one of the people that Finn watches.
I would imagine not.
No. His stuff isn't really that age appropriate.
So is he one of those kind of like kind of angry video game nerd?
He started off as like a League of Legends streamer.
But is it like kind of like he makes fun of game?
He's not. I wouldn't loop him in with like angry game nerd.
Well,
I mean, he does.
You wouldn't?
No, I don't think so. It's not, because he's doing Let's Plays more than anything else. Although the videos that you see tend to be like he'll slice them up. I think they're hilarious, personally. But
they'll
they
slice
don't
them up
they
and
don't
take some
to
of
me, they're
like,
not
here are the
same
worst
vibe.
NPCs in this game.
Sure.
We're just gonna
But to me, they're
do a
not the
super
same.
cut.
To me, they're not the
Okay.
same type of comedy as like Angry Video Game Nerd or Angry Joe or any of those people. Like,
Okay.
I don't
Well,
personally, because I can't stand that. But I find him very funny.
generally they don't it's not him like saying how bad video games of today
Right. He's
are.
reacting to what's
It's-
happening on the screen more than anything else.
Okay.
Oftentimes not
find-
even reacting, it's just here's a bunch of like really bad parts of this game strung together.
Okay.
So you can make up your own mind, but
Yeah, I think like Mr. Coffee in the chat is saying it better. He doesn't have sort of that meanness to him that I find anyway. Like I said, I can't really stand that stuff, but I don't watch him religiously or anything. I have a friend who does, and so the videos I've seen of his are the videos that have been shown. But every time I see one of his videos, I find it really funny. I find him really funny. That being said, his announcement for this really, I don't know. It feels like his qualification is that he's played about a lot of video games. I mean, he pretty much says that.
that's right.
Oh, really?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Oh.
And so that's been going back and forth. I've been seeing that on Twitter through the week, and some people making some really good points. One being like, well, how many video game journalists have gone into game development? That's very true. I mean, you're looking at 3 of them right now. But
I mean, I'm not actually developing any game.
We're not making
but
games,
we did.
right?
We all did at one point or another.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
But we didn't enter as publishers.
No.
And most don't. Like somebody also brought up like Greg Casavin, and it's like, yep, that's true. He's in a much more senior role with a lot of creative control on the games that he works on now, but he didn't start there.
Right.
He paid his dues at sort of a more developer level.
Yeah, and also he's on a team of people who
so
can't really look at him as say he's the one force in
right
Super Giants games.
I mean, I with Donkey's video, like he sounds so much like I think a lot of us did who've gone through sort of the games journalism side of things and then entered the development side, which is like, because of my experience playing and critiquing all this stuff, I have a good idea of what works and what doesn't. From like, I think, and from a high level, that could be very true. And I think a lot of us felt the same way. But I think a lot of us also, when we dove in to the development side, realized that that's not nearly enough to do the type of job you're talking about, in my opinion.
There's a really interesting tweet, by the way, from the developer of Mixolumia, who says, LOL, Donkey starting a publishing company with the ethos. I have played so many games. I know what makes them good and bad. So I'll only publish good ones. About to learn some stuff the hard way.
That was it. Yeah, exactly. About to learn stuff the hard way. That's true. And that was an extremely, I think that whole thought statement on that video was naive only if for no other reason than nobody sets out to make a terrible game.
No, exactly.
Nobody greenlights something that they know isn't going to work. They
Mm-hmm.
greenlight something that they think will work. You know, and I'm sure he'll do the same thing. But I mean, also, best intentions aside, like that was the biggest lesson that I learned when I went into development, is that many of us on the team understood what we needed to do to make our game better. But just knowing it isn't enough. Knowing how to execute and finding out that sometimes you can't necessarily execute is the hard part, right? So if he's getting in at the pitch level, then great. He would, that if he greenlights something that clearly is going to work, that's not a guarantee it'll work by the end of the cycle. If he's getting into something that's, because he said he wants to also hear from people who already have games in development, well, then you're going to be paying the debt that was created by decisions that happened months ago before you were there. And sometimes you just can't overcome that.
Well, one point here is that, even if he doesn't know anything about game development, he does have a very popular YouTube channel that, marketing games is so hard already
It's really
in
hard.
this era.
Yeah.
And the fact that he already has a YouTube channel that has, 7 million subs or whatever, like that already is huge. Like that's a huge leg up that a lot of developers
Absolutely.
don't have.
Yeah.
So,
And somebody in the chat just said there are devs that develop games just for cheap cash grabs, and that's true.
yeah,
Sure.
well,
And I'm sure he won't greenlight stuff like that. But
have
what
you
I'm
seen
saying is,
AAA Clock Game of the Year edition on the eShop?
God no. But what I'm saying is,
I mean,
that
it kind of is on my short list.
even
Yeah.
if he doesn't, even if you sort of weed that stuff out at the pitch level, again, just because it's a good idea doesn't mean you're going to be able to execute on it.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Greg, but I mean, I've seen a lot of games go from pitch to final,
Mhm.
and it is so hard looking at a pitch to know whether by the end of the process you are going to have something that is good, bad, a hit, a flop, whatever. You kind of have to go
Sure.
on faith a lot of times because game development obviously takes a long time. You're getting into the pitch process. You're going to wait 2-3 years plus
Right.
for the final product. Are you able to see that far ahead? Like, is this type of game even going to be popular when it's ready to come out?
And there's an X factor to game development that to me was the most difficult part, where, something that sounds like it should work on paper doesn't necessarily work. And it's a lot different from working on other software. Like, cause I've transitioned personally from, I don't even do game software anymore. Right. I just work in just software in general, but it's more like streaming apps and things like that. And, there's an element there that is a lot easier when it comes to a UX and UI setup, because a lot of these apps all do the same thing. So there's a lot of common knowledge there that just works, and with analytics and things like that, you have a better idea of what works and what doesn't. But the thing is that video games have a whole other layer beneath that, where when you're down to it, controller in hand in the moment, what worked on paper isn't necessarily fun.
Yeah.
And you don't know that until you've built it, at least to the point that it's at alpha. You don't know that until it's playable. And sometimes once it's playable, again, I don't know what his contracts are going to be like. I don't know what the budgets are going to be like. But if he's talking about indie games, the budgets aren't going to be massive. The teams aren't going to be huge.
Although even indie games now, the budgets aren't tiny.
That's fair. But either way, you can get, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you can get to the point, something that should have worked doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like, then what's the next step? Do you kill it? Do you give it another year? Can you afford to give it another year? Do you kill your team trying to fix it? And honestly, again, you're fixing it on paper a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So you have to implement and try again. So, and again, this is, all extremely negative, obviously, but I do agree with the tweets that came out that said, like, I know what works. I'm only going to publish good stuff. It's a little naive. But I wish him all the best. I mean, I hope whatever he publishes is great, because there's nothing but good that comes from that. So
absolutely, more funding for indie games. I'm into it. That's great. But and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Greg, during development, but as you play builds of a game and whatnot, like, have you ever gotten to the point where you were questioning yourself, like, is this good? Like, I'm playing it, over and over and over and over again. Is this good enough? Like, are people going to react well to this? Like, is there anything more that we can do? Like, oftentimes when you're so close to it, it's hard to tell what the final product is going to be received like, because you're too close to it. You've played it in too many different states.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I have definitely been there, and I think we've all seen stuff like that too, from when we were doing, when we were professional critics too, where you'll play something like the easiest example is always when you play something that's just way too difficult. And a lot of times that comes from the place that everybody on the team played the damn thing so much, and everyone on the QA team played the thing so much that they became experts. And somebody somewhere said, God, this game's way too easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a joke when it comes out. Obviously, you know, you do focus testing and try to get around that. But absolutely, I mean, every game I've ever worked on, and I've never worked on any amazing, like, world-changing AAA hits, but, you know, every game we always ended up getting to the point where it's like, you know, is this good or bad? And then decided as a group how we should fix the things that we see wrong, and you know, may have gotten it right once in a while. But I was actually playing one of the baseball game that I worked on, Backyard Sports, the other night, just because I was in downstairs playing on the Wii, and I fired it up, and I was talking about how the game turned out versus how the game sounded in the pitch, and sort of the great ideas that never came to fruition, or the vision that once it was you know, coded and playable, wasn't nearly as exciting as when it was pitched. So again, there's just, it's such a long road, and there's the X factor is such a big thing, and it's impossible to know exactly how it's going to turn out. You know, if you've got experienced developers who have made great games before and have learned the lessons they need to learn, you're definitely got a leg up. But
But just knowing what a good and bad video game is doesn't necessarily give you an advantage in any of those departments.
No, I don't think so, personally. And I also, the other thing I really don't like was video, is there was all this sort of real gamer talk, which just drives me up. I hate when I hear that.
I hate that.
It drives
kind of
me up
stuff
the wall.
Yeah. Indeed. All right. So, hey, Sly Cooper has turned 20 years old.
And nobody cared.
And nobody
Sony
cared.
I mean, sorry.
Well, I mean, Sony. So this month they did put the Sly Cooper Collection into PS Plus Premium. You can now stream the PS3 version of it. And they also have released a new T-shirt for Sly Cooper's 20th anniversary and an art print. I did end up pre-ordering the T-shirt because
you should have got the
like
it looked really good on your floor.
I feel weird that we live in a world where we're pre-ordering T-shirts, but
pre-ordered the T-shirt, yeah. But I should have gotten the art print. Yeah, you're right.
It would have looked. Yeah, you're right. It would have looked good piled against Pac-Man and Final Fantasy.
Perfect.
Back then. Yeah. You could really appreciate it. Appreciate the art.
Completely. But there's no Sly Cooper in development, which sucks. And I'd really love to see something new there, but oh well.
I really thought eventually Sly 4 would lead to something like that, because what was the team that did Sly 4?
I don't remember.
Either way, they did a good job.
They did. I think, is that the team that now Oculus owns?
Oh, it could be. Yeah, maybe. Never mind. You just answered my question.
So I think it was Ready at Dawn.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Ready at Dawn.
Oculus owns them, or Meta owns them. So not happening.
Too bad.
But hey, more Sly Cooper on PS Plus is fine. Maybe some people will get exposed to the game series, and
games.
Maybe they'll enjoy it. Yeah,
they're really
fantastic
good games.
They even included Bentley's little mini game collection too.
You don't say, Sly.
I do say.
Nobody cares about our anniversary, Sly.
All right.
Why couldn't we have taken off like Ratchet and Clank, Sly?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. There's a rumor out. I don't know if you've heard this rumor, but that Sony is going to launch a new PlayStation 5 with a detachable disk drive, optical disk drive. I don't know about this one.
So, okay.
So, in other words, you would buy a PlayStation 5 without the disk drive, and then you could, if you wanted to play physical games on it, you could buy a separate thing that would then connect.
Okay. So you have an upgrade
USB-C.
Okay.
Yeah, an upgrade path if you want to go physical.
Okay.
I suppose. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting idea. Does that mean then that all PS5s will be the digital only SKU? Like, how good is this thing gonna look if it's
well, I mean, based on the
detachable
design
thing?
of the current system, clearly they don't care too much about how good it's going to look.
Well, that's true. I guess you're right. But anyway, that's from Insider Gaming, which is a new website launched by Tom
Sony?
Henderson, who
Okay.
does a lot of rumor mongering on Twitter. So, yeah, we'll see if that
Accurate rumor
interesting-
mongering.
I don't know about accuracy, but he did. I think recently he did get the theme of the new Fortnite season correct. So I don't know what that means for.
So a
this
new
particular
website
rumor.
started by a guy who got one correct rumor about Fortnite.
No, I think he's gotten more than that, right?
Oh,
That's
okay.
just the most recent
Two
thing
correct
that I
rumors
remember.
about Fortnite.
Well,
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this Logitech G Cloud handheld.
CJ, why don't you talk about it?
Oh,
you
I'm going to
just get a
talk about
Steam
it.
Deck.
CJ is why don't you just get a Steam Deck?
I don't. I have a Steam Deck though.
Well, then what do you need this for?
So tell us why this is more interesting then.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because on the Steam Deck, I like the form factor of the Steam Deck. I like the screen size, but getting it to do game streaming, cloud streaming on all the services, or even remote play, which is even harder, to get the Steam Deck to do all that stuff, you have to like install third-party software that's like, here's a Sony remote play client, but it's not made by Sony, it's made by somebody else. And to put Xbox cloud streaming on there, you have to like make Steam think that Microsoft Edge is an app, and it like takes a little bit of not programming, but like you have to change some lines of code and all this stuff.
That's might as well
Anyway,
be programming for me.
It's too much for me. That's too much fiddling for me, right? Like if it was something where I could download the PlayStation Remote Play client from the Steam store, or download an Xbox Remote Play thing from the Steam store, that'd be fine. And then I would use the Steam Deck. Then I would get a Steam Deck for this. You're absolutely right. But since that isn't the case, this handheld is appealing to me because this thing runs Android 11, and you can download PlayStation Remote Play, the Xbox Cloud Streaming Beta, Xbox Remote Play, and you can do Stadia on it theoretically. So that's pretty appealing to me personally.
So would you be able to get the same type of thing if you had like just an Android phone or tablet and like what is that called? The one, what is that?
The Backbone?
Called? Backbone. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I already do that kind of thing with the Backbone, but the problem is that I don't always have this around, or the analog sticks on it aren't great. I mean, they're smaller than your standard control pad, so this thing is, it looks like it's a beefy controller.
All right.
So, and that matters, right? Like the controller, the analog stick travel.
Hey,
when you're playing some games, it does matter.
I'm right there with you. I don't play my Switch handheld because I can't stand the way that those things
sticks
feel. Yep.
Yeah.
So the sticks or the ergonomics of the controller in general. So
yeah, well then you'd hate the Backbone because they're even
I know.
smaller than Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
honestly. But I mean, I like the Backbone and it works really well in a pinch, but it is not something that I would want to like pick up and play on a daily basis for remote play stuff. So this is a lot more appealing just for that. It is retailing for $349.99, which is a little pricey. A little pricey considering that it's just a cloud streamer. Yeah, but there's a launch discount. It's going to be $299.99 for a limited time, they say.
Might as well be free.
Exactly. But yeah, this looks like exactly the type of device that I want. And a lot of people have said just get a Steam Deck, or why don't you just get an Odin or Retroid Pocket 3. But those are not what I want. Like, I've watched video reviews of those, and almost all of them complain about the analog sticks. So like, this looks like what I want. The ergonomics of it looks like what I want. So, which is basically a Steam Deck that only does cloud.
I mean, in my opinion, my experience, Logitech makes good stuff. So,
yep,
I understand that.
Yep. So I pre-ordered one. We'll see how it goes. But I'm pretty excited about it, and I watched some hands-on videos of it, and it looks really interesting. It looks exactly like what I want. So,
and you use this to travel, right? Like when you travel, you play stuff.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
But I also do this for off TV play. Like, my main use for this is going to be off TV play away from my consoles in the house. So in other rooms of the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
It looks interesting. I mean, I'm not interested in it because I don't have a use case for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you described. I don't travel a lot, and
I totally get it.
As far as off TV play, that's not a thing that I do.
Yep.
So, but hey, if that fits your needs,
it does. It fits it so perfectly. This is basically a recreation of that episode where Homer designs the car, and it's
well, that's why
made, and it's an overly expensive thing, right?
In our group chat, that's why I put the link up there the second I saw it, because I knew as soon as I saw the announcement, I was like, this has got CJ written all over it. I already.
Oh yeah. Well, as soon as I saw the Wario 64 tweet that it was available for pre-order, I was on top of that, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll be getting that, even though nobody else will. So I think that means we are at what you've been playing. Phil.
Yes.
What have you been playing, sir?
Oh boy.
What hasn't he been playing?
I've been playing everything.
All the video games.
Well, you know what I picked up on the Nintendo Switch? Not this past week, but actually the week before. I picked up a hot new golf game. You guys like golf games, right?
Love golf.
You like the hottest, newest golf games?
No, I
only
like
if they haven't previously been on Apple Arcade.
Then hey, Greg is definitely in luck, because this one is not the hottest, newest golf game. This is one that came out on Apple Arcade a while ago. It's the new Clap Hands, well, newest Clap Hands golf game, which on Apple Arcade was just called Clap Hands Golf, right?
Yes,
but has since been updated on Apple Arcade with the new title, which is the title it was released under on the Switch, which is Easy Come, Easy Golf, which is a play on words that doesn't really work.
Does not at all work in this context.
Easy Come, Easy Golf, I guess.
Does not work in this context.
But it's Clap Hands Golf, which is everybody's golf, which is the original Hot Shots Golf, which is
golf,
which is an outstanding golf game.
Yeah,
Clap Hands makes incredibly good golf games.
True,
and they have released their most recent one on the Switch, so I picked it up. So I've been playing a bit of that, and it's a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time on Apple Arcade too.
Yes, it was, and now it's on Switch. So
that's all you have to say about that.
I mean, what it's Hot Shots Golf. It's everybody's golf.
Good. It's good.
You've seen it, right? You've played it. People know it's good.
Played it. Yeah.
What more is there to say? It's now it's on another system.
It does have online play of some kind, right?
I think so. I don't know.
I wonder if it's cross-platform where people on Switch can play against people on Apple Arcade.
Oh, I don't know. That would involve me having to care about the online mode.
Right.
Which guess what I do not do.
Ever with any game.
Yeah. But yes, Easy Come Easy Golf is great fun.
Pronounced Gorf.
So that's a different thing. a different-
someone whoever has the rights to Gorf should make Easy Come Easy Gorf. Keep that pun alive.
I also picked up on the Switch this week the hottest new drum simulator, which is of course Taikono Tatsujin Rhythm Festival, which is it's the new Taiko game. You can play it with your controller, you can play it with the drums if you have a drum, which I absolutely do.
Yeah.
But the gimmick with this one, this is the Bandai Namco Taiko drum simulator. I love it. I've loved Taiko no Tatsujin for years and years and years. And this one, they have a subscription service, a drum pass or something, some sort of music pass. You pay, I think it's $10 for a 3-month subscription. You can also subscribe monthly, or they have a 3-month subscription, and you get access to what did I say? Is it like 580
plus?
Yeah, like 587 songs.
Yeah,
knocking on 600 songs.
It's a lot
on the online service, and supposedly every month they're going to add more.
That's pretty great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is on top of, there's like 75 songs in the base game as well. So, you buy the base game, you already have like 75 songs, and then the gives you 600 more.
Yeah.
With the subscription, so I've been playing a fair bit of that. I've been having a blast with it.
You did get the subscription?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. They had because I bought it digitally. There's a physical version which is coming out in like 2 weeks or so. The physical version got delayed for some, supply chain issue or something like that.
Yeah.
So I broke down and got the digital version, and then they had a digital deluxe edition, which was only $5 more, but included a 3-month music pass.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I did that, and just tons of Japanese pop music, tons of anime music, for all you nerds out there. And then
I saw the Urusei Yatsura theme song.
They did. They have the original.
That's great.
Urusei Yatsura theme.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big fan of. And then they have like modern-ish anime. There's like a lot of like Naruto and One Piece stuff.
Attack on Titan.
Yes, there is some Attack on Titan music in there.
Yeah.
But so that is out. You know what? That has a multiplayer mode, which I actually played a couple online matches just for fun, just to see what it was like. So,
okay.
But I've been playing that. I did pick up Monkey Island. The new Monkey Island game came out, which I picked up, and I haven't started playing it yet. Because I'm waiting, because like I mentioned earlier in the show, my wife is in Sweden this week.
Yep.
And she is also a big Monkey Island fan, so we're going to be playing through that together. It's like a little couples game. So I picked it up, and I'm holding off on starting it until she's back, and we can enjoy that together.
Okay.
What else have I been playing? Oh, I got the new Shovel Knight game, which came out. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I have. I played a very little bit of it on Apple Arcade.
Okay, yes. Shovel Knight Dig, which is on Apple Arcade. It's on all the other systems. I have the Steam version, which I must be on a press list or something, because they sent me a code.
All right.
I don't know how I got on this press list. I'm not.
I wonder, am I on this press list?
Did you get an email? They only sent me one code.
I just may not have paid attention.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be a remnant of like some PAX that we went to years ago.
Yeah. Okay,
maybe I ended up on a list through that. Whatever the case is, I got a free copy of SteamWorld Dig on.
You mean Shovel
Steams.
Knight Dig?
What did I say?
SteamWorld Dig.
I said SteamWorld. Shovel Knight Dig,
Shovel Knight Dig,
which is a different game,
completely different.
but it's close enough in my head that I confuse the two clearly. So yes, I've only played a little bit of the Shovel Knight Dig so far, but I am going to be playing more of it because it's really fun. Did you?
Yeah,
So you played a bit?
I played a little bit of it, yeah, and I really enjoyed what I played of it.
Yeah. So
And I don't even like Shovel Knight.
You don't like Shovel Knight?
Not like a huge Well, I shouldn't say I don't like Shovel Knight. I should say I'm not a huge Shovel Knight
was
fan.
great.
Yeah, Shovel Knight's really good.
I'm not like I'm not huge into it though.
I mean, it's
It's a good game. I recognize it's good.
It's like a really good 8-bit style platformer.
I know. Yeah.
Like a really good one.
Yeah.
And you don't like it?
I didn't say I didn't like it.
I
I said I'm not that into it.
tell you what, try playing it again on your overpriced analog stick machine. Tell me if you like it then. I bet you'll love it.
Okay, I will.
That's pretty mean.
I'll tell you.
So Shovel Knight Dig
Yeah.
is kind of like SteamWorld Dig if SteamWorld Dig was a roguelite,
You're losing me.
Yes.
which is a few layers deep in here.
You're losing me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's instead of like 8-bit style visuals, it's more 16-bit style visuals.
I
So
like
there's a bit of a graphical upgrade. But the so what you do in this game is you dig you do a lot more digging in this than you did in Shovel Knight. I mean, it's right there in the title, for crying out loud.
It's true.
So the point of the game is you dig downwards, which is easier than digging upwards. And you're basically it's you progress down as far as you can, doing all those kind of roguelite trappings, unlocking items to boost your abilities, finding upgrades, that kind of thing. And then when you die, boom, you're back up to the surface with your upgrades, start over again. How far can you go, huh? So, but it's quite good.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So,
Now, did you play Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon? Very much.
That's the puzzle game, right?
That's the puzzle game, yeah.
I did not.
Okay.
Should I? Is it good?
I don't know. I didn't play it.
I didn't play it because
I only played this because it was on Apple Arcade.
You know what? I think I have a copy of that on Steam too. Which I don't know if they sent me a code for that or if I somehow ended up with it in a bundle or something, but I should play it. I have so many Steam games that I don't know where they came from. But I cannot say. But I will say that I am going to be definitely playing some more Shovel Knight Dig. Because it is pretty darn fun. And in fact, the main reason why I didn't play more Shovel Knight Dig this week is because of the final game that I was playing a lot of, which is The Last of Us Part 1 on the PlayStation 5, which I've completed. I've finished it.
You finished The Last of Us Part 1.
I finished The Last of Us Part 1. And let me tell you this.
Damn. Now I'm going to have to go back.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
Not only
TJ
have
never
I
even finished
completed
the
the
first
last...
time.
Well,
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
What did you do?
I completed the game on PlayStation 3.
It's just
Oh, yeah, so
assumed,
did I.
I just
Yeah.
assumed CJ never finished it the first time.
No, I did.
I mean, we all did, because we all talked.
We all did.
We did a
did
big
a
spoiler cast, right?
Yeah.
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 Now, I did not finish it on PS4, but
Me
I did
neither.
finish it on the PS5. Not only did I finish it on the PS5, CJ,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back and I'm sweeping through the map. I'm cleaning it up. I'm going to get me a platinum in this.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. What do you think about that, tough guy?
I'd like to see you try.
I'd like to see me try as well, which is why I'm doing it.
Oh my god.
I do need to play through Left Behind. I played through the main story.
Don't you have to play through Last of Us Part 1 on like the hardest difficulty to get the platinum?
You absolutely do not.
Oh, all right. Okay.
In fact, what's nice about it is once you finish the game,
Yeah.
which you know, I finished it on not the easiest difficulty level, but the one just like right up. One up there. But what you can do once you finish the game, you unlock all these enhancements. Because there's a new game plus that unlocks if you want to do that. But it also unlocks all these enhancements that you have to spend like the points you earn during the game to unlock them.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's like the points you would spend to buy like character models or concept art or whatever.
Yep.
But so you can unlock like infinite ammo. You can unlock like your melee weapons don't break. You can unlock one shot kills. So like one bullet or one with a 2x4 will kill all your enemies in one shot.
Okay.
There's no infinite health, which is a little surprising to me. But just about anything else.
Okay.
Infinite crafting items, so you can just keep crafting little nail bombs or Molotov cocktails.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can and then it brings up like a chapter list. You can actually go through and start different chapters, and it even tells you, you select a chapter and it's like, oh, you need to collect 2 more firefly pendants, 1 more hidden conversation. So you can they make it pretty easy to go and
sweep it up.
Yes. Okay. Which is great.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And it is, man, that's a good game.
That is a good game. Yeah.
It's a really good game.
It is. I started playing, I played some on using the Backbone controller.
Oh, well, there you go. See? Look at that.
So I played it a little more. Button prompts are really small on a mobile phone screen.
Imagine so.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, this is why I don't play on handheld stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why I bought the big damn TV. I'm going to play on the big damn TV.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, oh man.
That's a good game.
What a game. Jeez Louise. Yeah. And the voice over work in that game is impeccable. Ashley Johnson is so good in that game.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And even like, I don't know if you watched a lot of the comparisons between the PS3 original and, most comparisons don't even go back that far. They go back to like the PS4 remaster.
Yeah.
But even looking at like what the glow ups that they've done.
Oh yeah.
On the performances. Yeah. I mean, it's great.
That's great. Insane. And yeah, just like, man, like I forgot, like I remembered how tense the end of that game can get.
Yep.
But I forgot like just how tense, like the whole winter part where you're playing as Ellie. Spoilers for Last of Us, by the way. This game is stupid old. But I'm going to be talking about the ending here. But like the whole winter part where you're playing as Ellie, going through the resort. Man, that is tense as hell.
Yeah.
It is nerve-wracking. But and then shortly after you get the whole you get the part with the giraffe's part there, which is such a beautiful moment. Yeah. And especially coming on the heels of that whole winter chunk of the game. So well played. It's so good. My goodness. And yeah, like the whole ending sequence when you're going through the hospital and then like the final confrontation, just man.
It's too
you pay for your whole seat, but you only need the edge. And that ending still puts a lump in my throat.
Oh yeah.
It's good stuff. It's so good. My gosh.
Now, do you want to play through the second one again?
You know what? I mean, ultimately, no. I'm not going to.
Right.
Because I played through it so recently. Yeah. But with this game so fresh in my head, You know, part of
Kinda
me
wanting.
does. Part of me does.
Yeah.
Now that now that it is so fresh in my head to just be able to like jump in and have all the details and everything fresh in my head, to see, how the follow-up plays. I would love to do that. I'm not going to. I'm absolutely not going to. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to.
Hmm.
But
Well, later this week, we're getting a trailer of some sort for the Last of Us TV show.
oh, is that
Audio
right?
Show. Yeah.
Excellent.
So look forward to that.
I'm looking forward to watching. I mean, it's just the Mandalorian again, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Gotta-
looking
gotta-
forward to that quite
Gotta
a bit.
protect that youngster going through
Yeah.
a harsh world.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it's good.
I'm hoping so too.
Hopefully it's good. And I'm really looking forward. Yeah, like I said, I'm mopping up those the collectibles and
Chivos.
stuff like that. But I'm really looking forward to
those.
playing through Left Behind, which is so great.
Oh yeah.
It's a really, really good little DLC add-on. But
But it won't have that Facebook connectivity like the original did.
does it
right?
not?
I don't know. It might.
Oh.
But
Okay. Well, we will see. I'll report back.
yes, please
But-
do. Please
Yeah,
do.
it's good stuff though. That's it. That's what I've been playing.
All righty. Well, I've been playing Splatoon 3.
So I
Playing
heard.
the heck out of that because the first Splatfest
Oh
occurred
yes.
this past weekend. So
And-
I have not yet seen which side won.
Your team Gear.
I was Team Gear,
Okay.
yes, and
'Cause you
played
love
a bunch.
Richard Gear so much.
Mm-hmm.
You like Richard
Incorrect.
Gear more than you like Jeff Grubb?
Ouch.
No.
I mean, you chose Gear.
Oh, is that what I was supposed to be
Yeah.
putting my vote?
Yeah.
behind? Oh, okay.
You
Well,
gotta
I
listen,
switched to
listen
Grub
to
then.
the Off the Hook or whoever they are. What's the new one called? Deep Cut.
Deep Cut. Yeah.
Yeah, listen
What
to
are we
Deep Cut.
talking
They
about?
explain it all.
They're
Oh.
the band in this version of
Oh.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
The hosts
Yes.
of everything. But so yeah, I played a bunch of matches in that and had a lot of fun. Had a lot of really close matches where it was like 0.2 or 0.1 was the difference between winning and losing. So I've been trying some new weapons as well in the Splatfest. I went to like the 52 gal and the 96 gal, which are slower weapons than normally. I use like the really fast, like Arrow Spray or the N-Zap, which are, very fast in terms of fire rate,
Mhm.
but they are very short in terms of range. Like you have to be pretty close up to your enemy. So I switched to the 96 gal, and that has a very long range, but it fires slower.
Ah.
Yeah. But and then I also tried out the umbrella for the first time in a long time, Splatbrella. So played with that a little bit. It's more like a shotgun, and then it has a sort of secondary mode where it sort of the umbrella comes out and like then moves forward in a little bit of a defense play there. You sort of shield your friends from getting splatted in a firefight. So yeah, I have really been enjoying Splatoon. Got a lot of gear for my locker that I'm going to be dressing up here pretty soon. I rearranged my locker a little bit, but I need to do some more of that because I got more stuff. And they even have things like a little Super Famicom style games, little like Famicom boxes, as if Splatoon was a Famicom and Super Famicom game. But yeah, it's such a good game. I love Splatoon. And I've been playing some Fortnite. Fork Knife. Played on the new map, and it's interesting to see the evolution of the island. They have changed a lot of the gameplay so it's much more vertical now. Like areas of the island have. Oh, I think
you can't build anymore.
Since I'm playing zero build, yeah. So a lot of some of the pieces of the island have been elevated by balloons and like brought over. So like this the Condo Canyon that I always like like to drop in. Now it's like this huge area with like a lot of different floors. But yeah, I'm enjoying that game as well. Kind of playing through the battle pass. We'll see if I get Spider-Gwen. I think I can get level 100 by the time this thing is over.
So wait a minute. So the zero build thing is over,
No, zero build's not over.
but you're
Zero
not playing
build is
zero
still a
build
thing.
anymore.
I am playing zero build. Yes.
Oh,
I only
okay.
play zero build. I don't play.
You
the
lost
other
me. Okay.
modes. No,
I'd ask you to explain it again, but I don't really care. So
I figured not. But yeah, Fortnite zero build is a fantastic game. Everybody should try it. And that's my thing on that. Greg, what have you been playing? Oh, I played a little bit of Horizon Chase 2 on the Apple Arcade as well. That's a fantastic
how's that?
game.
yeah,
It's
Horizon
so
Chase is a
good.
good time.
So good.
Yeah.
That's on Apple Arcade now as well.
Can't wait for that to come to consoles.
And it will.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But got to get that Apple money first. Greg.
Well, Deathloop hit Game Pass this week. As anyone who might have turned on YouTube even once in the past week probably knows, because I don't know about you guys, but all I saw this week were ads for Deathloop on YouTube.
I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't see any ads.
Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yeah. I also loaded this up, but yeah, go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I only played it for like an hour or so. It's real nice. I like the premise of it. So I mean, I think a lot of people already know this. Obviously, Deathloop, you keep playing the same day over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day, but a first-person shooter. Not really at all, but I'm not into these games. I was playing it this evening and I'm just like, oh man, these games are just not for me. But it is really cool. And I do like how apparently you're able to carry forward some of the abilities and gear that you unlock once you get to a certain point. Like the whole thing is that you're, I guess, and this is the thing that I like a lot more than, I'm trying to remember the name of the PlayStation 5 game previously.
Returnal.
The thing that really destroyed me in Returnal was, not only the difficulty, but that you always got back to zero. And like Deathloop does kind of the same thing, but I find it's much more enjoyable from like there's some really good dialogue in there. And your character is very chatty, which I like a lot.
Yes.
He's constantly narrating it to you. I mean, he's talking to himself obviously, but he's really essentially narrating what's happening to you. And it's super helpful because I feel like it would be way too confusing. It's supposed to be disorienting anyway, but it would be way too confusing to be sort of dropped in and just like, you figure out what's going on. Like it wouldn't work. But the sort of the inner monologue that you hear from him constantly, as well as his interactions with, I forget her name, but like the main antagonist who constantly kills you in your the opening scene is her murdering you you're in first person, and like she's constantly talking to you because she knows what's going on more than you do, and so she's sort of taunting you the whole time. The writing really struck me quickly. It really sort of takes over right from the beginning of the game. There's a lot of different little systems in there. Like I feel like, I don't know if you would call this a looter shooter. I don't really feel like that's what it is. There is like weapon upgrades and stuff like that, but they seem pretty straightforward. Like it's not overwhelming. I find in a lot of games that, with this sort of thing is that you're sort of inundated with all these different upgrade trees and trying to keep track of all this crap. And I just don't. Like I'm very much a person where it's like, oh, look, an upgrade. I want to press a button and it'll just automatically be assigned to something and then I can forget about it. Like I really, like the equivalent of an RPG going into buying a bunch of gear and then going into your subscreen and just hitting optimize. Like that's how I play.
Yeah.
So this isn't quite at that level, but it's only like one step above it, right? Like the screen in between levels is easy to navigate. It makes sense. It's not overwhelming. They really, even though they hit you with a lot of information at the very beginning of the game, you just, I never felt lost. So that's great. It looks great. It plays really nicely if you're into first-person shooters. I found it took a little bit of time to, like, I'm not sure what's going on with the dual wielding thing, where I feel like, excuse me, I'm swapping weapons from hand to hand a lot. There's a lot of that going on, and there's a lot of. I mean, you don't have to be stealthy, but I feel like the game wants you to play stealthy for the most part, and I suck at it. I suck at stealth in first-person games, and I don't know if I'm alone in that, but if I have one complaint from what I've played so far, it's that, and maybe this is just the fact that I don't play a lot of first-person shooters anymore, but stealth in first person I find really, really difficult. And I just have a hard time finding where I need to be to, like, assess a situation and really sort of take control of an area. Although I will say early on in the game, the few times that I sort of got into like arenas where I had battles with like a big group of people, they absolutely do start you off where you're like sort of looking down from overhead. So you should be able to assess it. Again, if you're better at first-person shooters than I am, which is probably just about everybody, it's probably way better designed than I'm making it sound. I don't know what the online portion of it is. I saw that you eventually unlock the ability to play online, and part of that gameplay is actually drop into other people's games.
Yeah, you drop in as the rival assassin.
Okay.
And
so the one that,
can invade other people's games and kill them.
That sounds awful.
It sounds awful, maybe, but I think this is a really interesting way to make that gameplay different every time, right? Because it's not an AI opponent that you're against, right? You're up against a real person. So they're not going to play the same way twice.
Yeah, they're going to be way better than me and just kill me the second they see me.
Well, they probably will be. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't like the idea.
Okay.
No, it's an interesting idea. I think if nothing else, like when they first announced this game, I think everyone thought the same thing, but I remember thinking how like it looked unique, different. Yeah. And now that I've finally sat down and played some of it, I think that's absolutely true. Again, it's not really for me because I just don't play a lot of first-person shooters anymore in general. But it's definitely different. And I like that. Yeah. I like that they're trying something so different and so stylish because the game looks great. The world has been really well realized, and I loved that there was one scene where like you kind of the game kind of funnels you down this path, and like on the second day, well, it was the second day for me. You go try to find your flat, your old apartment, and you realize that the antagonist can follow you. She actually tells you that she's able to track you. Because you're constantly talking to her, and at one point he's like, how do you even know where I am? But like when you're in his apartment and you're looking around, at one point you can check sort of the old messages, and there's the whole story here that I actually kind of, without going back and really playing the whole game, I kind of want to find out what the story is. Because like they're clearly, you used to be in league with this group of people. I forget these exceptional people. I forget what they're called. And then they turned on you for some reason, or you turned on them. And I haven't figured out exactly what the story is there. But like, there's group chats that you can read on your computer when you get into your apartment. But at one point you realize, like, you start getting spam where it's like, get rich quick today or something like that. And of course, it feels almost like a BioShock situation where it's like, well, I have to click on this. It's there. You know what I mean? Like it's a video game. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't important. So you click on it, and then you realize that the guy who's sending it to you, who's like a network administrator type, is now knows that you've logged onto your computer and knows that the only person who would ever do that is you. So now all of the enemies in the stage know you're in your apartment, and they just start gathering outside the windows and everything. Like you can hear them all talking, and you look out and there's just a crowd of them. Because now your next step is like, well, you can search around here if you want, or you can leave here. Like they actually tell you that. but it's like now you're going to be set upon by every enemy in the level because
I love that.
Yeah, so just little things like that, right? Like it was, it's got a bit of a BioShock vibe to it, which is I think why I like what I'm seeing. And that moment was, it just reminded me so much of the BioShock's whole thing about how like, why did I do this? Well, because it was there. It's a video game and I'm supposed to. Right. And it was the exact same sort of thing where I was on this computer and these little spam messages just kept popping. I was like, well, I got to click on it. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't important. So I just love the way they turned that on its head. So yeah, overall, I mean, it was really neat. What I played is really neat. I don't know if I'll play much more of it. I want to find an easy mode so I can just run through it, but I don't know that exists.
I don't think that's in there.
I don't think that that's in there. So,
but I think it does adjust to your play style.
Oh, good.
I did hear that.
So then pretty soon all the enemies will just drop dead the second I walk onto the stage.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, this game, I love the aesthetic and I love the tone of the game so much, but I can't play it because it's an arcane engine game and like they give me motion sickness.
Right.
Like crazy. So like Dishonored and Prey, especially the new Prey. And then this, I didn't I figured it might give me problems, so I didn't buy the PlayStation 5 version. Right. I'm glad I didn't because, it immediately gave me motion sickness. And part of it is, they put the first-person camera on the player's head, and then it moves around anytime the character's head moves. So if you are getting up or like...
is that what does it to you?
It just moves all around. Yeah, that does it to me. Like I can't do that. So that's a problem. And I tried adjusting the field of view, didn't do anything. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to not play this one, which is a shame because I really like everything about it. But
no, it's very cool.
Yeah. And our friend Joe Fielder did some writing on it. So,
yeah. And the writing's really good so far. So,
yes, indeed. All right. So, I guess that means it's time for tweets.
A tweedly-diddly-dee. A tweedly-diddly-dee. Tweet. A tweet. A tweet.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Gaming Hyperbole, who asks, do any of you own an iArcade or Arcade 1-Up cabinet? If not, do any interest you?
I do. I own a couple of 1-Up arcade cabinets. I own Outrun and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Countercade.
I see. Yes.
I'd wanted one for quite a while. Actually, Turtles was the one that really sold me on the whole idea of a 1-Up arcade. But I didn't want it bad enough to pull the trigger on it. But I had always said that if they did Outrun, I would grab one. And of course, then they did Outrun. So so I did grab that one, and I'm so glad that I did. It's so awesome just to have that sitting there, and if it's got multiple games, it's not just Outrun that's on there. It's Outrun, Outrunners, Turbo Outrun, and Power Drift. Oh. And I think a lot of these things you can actually update via online nowadays. And I think if you update it, because the stand-up version that they released actually had a 5th game on it. I haven't done this, but you can update it and get a 5th game installed on it. And then they went and made the Turtle Countercade, which is only 2 players, but it's Turtles and Time. Which if you're on the fence about one of these 1-Up arcades, the Countercades are great. They're very small. You don't have to assemble them. They come assembled. It's really awesome just to have it sitting on the counter and being able to play Turtles Arcade whenever you want.
Nice.
So yeah, actually considering getting another one. Also pretty easy to hack as well. I know that my friend Jim got a Miss Pac-Man Countercade, and because it's the vertical screen, and put a bunch of classic arcade games on it.
Okay.
Now I can play Turtles Arcade whenever I want now,
but I couldn't before.
Didn't There you go.
when I bought it.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I do not own any. I've been tempted to, certainly. I was definitely tempted by Outrun. I was tempted when the Turtles game first came out. I was tempted when the Simpsons game
Mhm.
came out. Boy, I'm glad I didn't, because I think that Simpsons game was like $700 when it launched.
They're getting more expensive. They feel
But
like they're
also
getting
like I've seen the Simpsons one on sale a lot recently for like
yeah,
$300,
yeah.
Yeah.
which is more than half off. So the main reason I have not picked one up is because they are bulky. They take up a fair amount of room.
They're smaller than you think, though. To be honest,
I mean, I've seen them.
yeah.
I'm my buddy Bill has the Star Wars one, which is another one that I've been very tempted to get.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they're certainly not full size arcade machines, but they ain't tiny.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's like, yeah, I love the Turtles arcade games. Yeah, I love the Simpsons arcade game. Realistically, how much am I going to play those?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I think that the idea of the countercade, like I said,
Yeah.
pretty easy to hack. So you basically turning it into a MAME machine,
Right.
but with a sort of a pre-built case, which is nice. I would like to get the Ridge Racer. They released Ridge Racer, which I used to love playing in the arcade as well. But again, it's it's a good $1,000 once you're all done with it up here. So I just can't justify getting another one. Also, point out too, I've been tempted by this. They've released ones that you can actually mount on the wall. They're very,
I did
Oh,
see
that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
yeah, they seem really nice.
I don't have any wall space though.
Clearly.
Oh my God, that was amazing. DJ wins this episode. I can't take empty wall behind him.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't picked one up kind of for the same reasons that Phil mentioned, space, and also like how much would I really play something dedicated to a single game, or even like 5 games.
Yep,
And yeah,
that's totally
hackable, sure, but I don't really see myself doing that. I mean, I haven't hacked my mini consoles to play multiple games either, so like I'm just not into that scene.
I think I would love to pick up a Pac-Man or a Miss Pac-Man. The thing that stopped me so far is I'm just too annoyed by the fact that I can only have one or the other on a machine.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Officially.
Right.
Yeah.
It just bugs me.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, let's do this one from hacker alias Rad Dad Gamer, who says, have you guys heard / what do you think of the rumors that the wave of Ninja Turtle stuff lately, Shredder's Revenge, Cowabunga Collection, are precursors for a AAA Ninja Turtles game and a new Seth Rogen made Turtles movie?
Is that a rumor?
Apparently.
Oh,
Or we're starting that rumor right here.
I
With
have
Rad
not
Dad
heard,
Gamer.
I have not heard any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy for a AAA Turtles game.
But we're perfectly happy with the Shredder's Revenge.
I know. Well, that's just it.
And
It's like Shredder's Revenge is really, really good.
yeah. I
Um,
don't know. I don't need a AAA Turtles game. What I want from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the old arcade game, or Shredder's Revenge, or playing Turtles in Time. Like, that's what I want from that franchise, personally.
so you wouldn't play a AAA Turtle game?
I mean, I didn't play the one that Platinum made.
That's not AAA though.
Well, it's AA.
I mean, it wasn't even Platinum's A team.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
That was not
Yeah, that game was forgettable.
one of the Platinum's good games. No.
I'm interested in a side-scrolling fighting game starring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's
Okay.
all. That's where it starts and ends, basically, for me.
Yeah, I would love to see a big budget turtle game. Absolutely. I mean, obviously I love Shredder's Revenge. I love Cowabunga Collection. But I also I dig the Turtles. So yeah, give me any turtle game. I don't care.
Now, to me, the better question is, what franchise or IP would you want to see made into a side-scrolling beat 'em up like Shredder's Revenge?
I would like to see another I would like to see a Shredder's Revenge equivalent for Simpsons.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
But with, that caliber of animation and I mean, because the Simpsons arcade game was made during the first season. Before,
when you play that, boy, does it ever?
Yeah,
does it ever? Yeah. It's weird. I mean, I don't want to say it's dated because all those games feel old, all those games from back then. But like, it just, boy, is it ever dated for a show that's been running for 30 years. I mean, that thing felt old after 4 seasons,
right?
The show, because there were references in there that did not make another appearance after the first season,
right? Well, and there's so many. I mean, there are so many generic characters in that game, and when you consider how big the cast of the Simpsons became over the following years, it's so silly that there are just like random no-name characters wandering around that you beat up.
Right.
Now, of course, the problem is if they did make a modern Shredder's Revenge Simpsons game, I would still want any references in the game to be from like 15 or 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. The ones that we want would be ancient.
Yeah, because it's like I
now
haven't
would
watched
you want
Simpsons.
Apu in there or not, since they retired Apu or Lionel Hutz?
Well, I mean, did they retire Apu? I think they just recast him, didn't they?
I thought they
here we go. We're going to talk about modern Simpsons without.
I know, right? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
I mean, they could,
as long as it makes reference to some of those old Simpsons, then
yeah.
Then
I mean, even if Apu was in the game, he wouldn't have to talk. Just have him in the background.
That's true. There you go. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's do a Seinfeld beat 'em up, please. Let's. I want to crack some skulls as Elaine, please.
That's weird.
Just go through all the Simpsons, or not Simpsons, Seinfeld levels. You have Jerry's apartment.
Yep. Yeah, keep going.
That's one stage.
The diner.
Yep.
The diner.
Yep.
Yeah.
The sprawling environment. That's Monks. The diner.
Yep. Del Boca Vista.
Jay Peterman's travels.
That takes you all over the world.
Jungle level. You get
jungles of New Guinea or where Papua New Guinea or
exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
That would be every level.
Yeah.
You didn't like the Del Boca Vista?
Yeah, Del Boca Vista, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Phase 2 of
Phase 2. Del Boca Vista.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I don't know why it came to mind, but I watched through that whole series recently.
Oh yeah.
Again, I don't know how I got onto it, but I did. And boy, did they ever surround him with some great comedic actors.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when you think about that, all the main characters in that show were just absolutely brilliant comedians.
I mean, when you come down to it, Jerry Seinfeld himself is not a very good actor.
No, I mean, that was the running joke, right? I mean, although he did get better as the seasons wore on.
He did get better.
But I mean, man, the people surrounding him were amazing.
Could do a Lost side-scrolling beat 'em up.
That'd be God.
Yeah, do that.
So you could just it'd be good for like the first half of the game and then just kind of peter out and be completely unsatisfying by the end.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end, you'd have a whole temple section that just goes on.
Nobody wants to play.
Nothing happens.
There would be a boss fight against a polar bear, though.
Oh, absolutely, boss fight against a polar bear.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what would actually be pretty good is a Marvel Cinematic Universe beat 'em up.
Oh yeah.
You know,
without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Didn't they make this? Like, didn't Data East or somebody make this in
The Avengers.
the 90s?
game.
I don't think they made one based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe now,
No.
Based on
especially not in the
characters
90s.
that the Marvel Cinematic Universe was based on.
Huh.
I mean, the Avengers. They made an Avengers game already. What are you talking about?
Is it based on the movies, Greg?
No, but I mean, all you're talking about is an Avengers beat 'em up. You can say it's MCU, but you're more or less talking about an Avengers beat 'em up.
But I mean, you realize that the movies.
Yeah, I'm
and,
not a
like, the
moron,
comic
Phil. That's not the
continuity are
point.
very
I'm just
different.
saying the continuity is different. It's a beat 'em up. Is it going to be story heavy?
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be story heavy, but it would have enemies and environments taken from the movies. And
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, this is the same thing if I said, oh, I'd like to see a modern Simpsons game, you would be, oh, well, they made a Simpsons game already.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's
Yeah.
you know, you're in favor of one, but not the other. It's very strange.
I wasn't in favor of the other one either once we realized that the Simpsons game we wanted would still be 30 years old.
Great. All right. That's a good
Yes.
place to stop.
What?
Right? We'll stop. We're done.
Oh, is this the end of the show now?
End. I'm cutting you off. End.
I mean, we had stopped talking.
I know. That's why I'm saying it's the end of the show. No more debating about the MCU side-scrolling fighting game. Yeah.
I see.
We'll just go into the outro and then we'll do our whole spiel.
How about
You
something
only
with the
get chipped.
minions? Kids like the minions, right?
How about the Super Mario movie? Make that into a side-scrolling beat 'em up. You know, like that Street Fighter the movie, the game.
I want
That was a good game.
I want a new Mario platformer,
Just in general?
but have it be digitized Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
There
That
you
would
go.
sell
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
to old
Make it
people.
make it like
To old
those
people.
Mortal Kombat Mythologies games.
Yes. Maybe Donkey will bankroll that. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward. You will find Generation 16 episodes as they happen.
Eventually.
Right now, we got a year-end wrap-up 1990, right?
Yes. And it's awesome.
So go check that out, y'all. You can also find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio, on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1Podcast. Or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions, all over the place. Just follow our Twitter account to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday nights at 5:30 specific time. So please join us, won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you heard, and how could you could head over to patreon.com/P1Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It is expensive to buy chips one at a time, friends.
Oh, God.
So we need... That's not true. I did not...
In this economy?
Huh?
In this economy?
Exactly. I only eat my chips if they're individually boxed.
In a box shaped like a coffin, I noticed.
I can't do it anymore. You know, I go and buy a bag of Lay's and they're just like, just throw them all in a bag.
Well, if
What
your
am I, a
food doesn't have
caveman?
half the packaging dedicated to a warning on, then you're just not interested. You like to
Exactly.
live dangerously now.
Exactly. You know what we do use your Patreon funds for is keep us streaming and all that, all those little hidden podcast costs that I don't bother paying attention to because CJ handles it all. So what do I care? But you know what, Patreon friends, if you are a supporter of the $5 tier,
cheap,
you gain access to a special bonus episode that we record right after this, where we play games crack-wise, having fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show, and apparently watching me suffer today. We'll see how that goes. I'm guessing not well.
Well, suffer and then try to answer some review.
Yeah, that's our game we have today is an EGM review quiz.
It's a game fan review quiz.
Even better.
Those are always interesting.
Yes.
That'll definitely be interesting. Yeah. What year? What month and year?
1997. January.
January of 97. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will.
So yeah, tune in for that. And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward. It is Greg Seward, right?
Yep.
Greg Seward. No T. Well, the T, but yeah, not
one
it's
T.
It's not Stewart. It's Seward.
One T, but it's not where you think.
Well, I mean, there's that T sound at the end. So
if you think about it, it's where you think. But most people don't. So it's not where you think.
Well, a lot of people like putting T's everywhere.
Clearly.
That's true.
I mean,
you heard it first from Phil Theobald.
Thank you.
You're all about teas.
I do like to tease. I do like the teas. And you like pre-ordering teas.
There you go.
See?
That's so right. Yeah.
Bringing it full circle.
Callback.
Yeah. Head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg Seward's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Philip. And if you are a Patreon subscriber of the $5 variety,
also cheap,
you get access to a weekly vlog series I call The Weekly Commute, where, thanks to Phil using his dad voice, I sit very still in a room that's not moving rather than driving while I do this.
Very dangerous. Don't do it.
And tell you all about what I've been working on, the status, the research that goes into it, interesting stories about that sort of stuff, as well as anything else that strikes my fancy. Lately, it's been going through my game collection. Today, I was talking about the first, and actually showing off the first issue of Nintendo Power that came to Canada, and how it affected my love of a little series called, Phil, I don't know if you've heard of this series or not, Mega Man? By Capsule Computers Incorporated?
Maybe.
Yeah, you should check it out. I think you'd like it.
Okay.
Not as good as a single chip per box or anything like that.
Is it anything like Shovel Knight? Because I hate that game.
No, nothing like it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. I wouldn't be caught dead playing that crap.
Was that the first episode? Was that the first issue that hit Canada?
Mega Man 2, yep.
Oh, wow.
Mega Man 2 cover.
It's a good issue, too.
It was good enough to make me buy, I think. I should go through and see how many of the games that were in that issue that I actually ended up buying. But I know that two of them that were featured were Mega Man 2 and Faxanadu, and I ended up buying both of those.
Oh, wow. Nice.
But yeah, I was just talking about that today and showing that off, as well as some issues of Nintendo Power Flash, which was the newsletter that preceded Nintendo Power up here in Canada. So, stuff like that. Please consider going and supporting the show.
Yeah, go check that out. I will have to check it out myself. Because Greg, I don't know if you know this. I'm a patron too.
I know you are, and I appreciate that. So CJ.
Me too.
He doesn't watch any of it, but he pays for it, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just as good. I'll tell you what, if you could get everyone to just pay you without having to make a video for them to watch.
Yep.
That's the dream.
Cloud 9. Yeah.
None of that pesky feedback.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it.
That is.
CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil. Breaking news. Team Gear won the Splatfest.
Oh, my goodness.
You heard it here first.
News.
Great job, everyone. Good job. We did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We geared it up. What do you get As
you get snails, which can be used to customize your equipment.
is that your snail voice?
That's my snail voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Okay,
Bentley.
so you get
Gonna be
snails.
customizing my equipment.
Bentley the Snail.
CJ's workshopping his new Splatoon fan character.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Well, thank you, CJ.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you for hosting the show, and thank you for that fantastic update.
Yes.
Go Team Gear. My condolences to Jeff Grubb. Maybe next time.
What CJ's got the Jimmy arms again?
Hey, what's going on
I
there?
don't know what you're talking about.
You're doing like a Power Ranger pose kind of thing.
Yeah.
CJ's getting a little antsy. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Of course, and of course, thank you. You, our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every single one of you. Remember, as always, take care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. And we hope, beyond hope, to see you next week. But really, I hope that I'm here next week after this damned chip. It's going to turn my tongue blue from what it says.
Yeah.
So we'll
You'll
see
be
how
fine.
that goes.
You'll probably.
I feel
live.
it's probably going to be the least of your problems after you eat that. But
I mean, here's the thing.
Because then coming out,
Oh,
yeah,
am I going to get funky
and
cool
turn something
again?
else blue.
didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. I'll
Oh, you have to live stream that.
tell you
No,
what.
oh god,
If you're
No.
Patreon fan of the $50 tier,
you guys are awful.
you will get an exclusive photo gallery.
No. Not
We'll
true.
talk about that
Not
after
true.
the show.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.